Happy Friday! Woo! Hi, guys. I'm excited. It's Friday. I know. I'm a little crazy. It's all right. You love me anyway. All right, let's get started. A surprise announcement. Oh, by the way, if you haven't watched yesterday's reading, stop right now. Go watch yesterday's reading and then come back to this one. Because you need to watch yesterday's before you can watch this one. Because yesterday's is a huge part of our story. And for those of you that did watch yesterday, you can definitely agree to this. It was a huge turn of events. I did not even expect that to happen. I didn't even think that that was going to be part of the story. Whew. Go watch. Go watch. All right, let's get started. A surprise announcement. When I told my parents I was willing to go meet with Commander Jensen, they were surprised and pleased. When I told my parents I wanted Evan and his dad to come with me, they were surprised and confused. Why? Said my mom. This was a direct request to you and us from the United States government and the United States Armed Forces. It's not the kind of thing where you just add +1. Or +2, added my dad. I understand, I told them. However, I don't want to go unless they come with us. My parents looked at each other and sighed. I'll talk to Horace, said my mom. I'm sure he can make a few calls and figure it out. And I want Lester to come too, I said. My mom nodded. Of course. Do you want me to see if your teachers and nurses and Coach Hank can come too? Said my dad. Maybe we can just make it a party. Ha ha. And also, yeah, I'd love that. All kidding aside, everything worked out fine because a week later, we were on our way to Commander Jensen's headquarters. My parents, Lester, and me. Plus Evan and his dad. Lester, who hadn't seen Evan since he'd been told about his medical situation, handled it in true Lester fashion. Yo, Evan, you look great. You getting to skip school and stuff? He said. Sometimes when I have to get treatment. Ha! Sweet! Lester exclaimed. Then suddenly realizing how that sounded, he added, I mean, you're one courageous dude, of course, but nothing wrong with missing a pop quiz here and there, am I right? Evan couldn't help but smile. I guess. Can we change the subject, please? My mom asked. Sure! Lester ruffled Evan's hair. So is it true that you might be kissing these gorgeous locks goodbye? My parents rolled their eyes at each other, but Evan didn't seem to mind. Yep. One of the side effects of the treatment will probably be that I lose my hair. Dude, you don't realize it, but that's really good news, Lester said. He noticed the pained expression in all of our faces. No, seriously. Okay, Evan said, not sure where Lester was going. Lester pulled out his phone. Let's look up famous bald men. See? Check this out. Michael Jordan, only the best basketball player ever. Evan's eyes went wide. He was a huge basketball fan, even though he wasn't exactly headed for the NBA anytime soon. Lester scrolled through his phone. Bruce Willis and Vin Diesel, two awesome actors. And yo, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. Mrs. Gass would love that part, right? And LL Cool J. Come on, you guys, being bald has never been cooler. Or hotter, added my mom. Ew, Mom. My dad gave her a look. Excuse me? I'm just saying. And everyone laughed. Oh, Mom. Jeez. Okay. Evan's dad put his hand on Lester's shoulder. Comparing my son to Michael Jordan may be the nicest thing anyone has ever done for him. Thank you for that. Anytime, Lester said. I mean, I'm just saying things that seem bad at first sometimes turn out to be not so bad. That's very wise, Lester, said my mom, and very true. We'd been driving for about 45 minutes when we finally turned into a road that had a giant security gate blocking it. There was a big sign over the gate. Authorized personnel only. We pulled up to the guard booth, where a soldier came up to our car and rapped on the window. May I help you? My mom, who was driving, stuck her head out the window. We're here to see Commander Jensen. Name and ID, please. My mom handed the soldier her driver's license. I'm going to need everyone's identification, ma'am. Even the minors? Which minors means the kids. Everyone, ma'am. So my dad and Mr. Brantley got out their driver's licenses too. Lester got out his high school ID and Evan and I got our library cards. The soldier took them all, looked them over, and went to the little booth and made a phone call that took about 30 seconds. Then he came back out and returned our stuff. Wow. That's pretty lucky that they brought their IDs with them, because otherwise they probably wouldn't have been able to get in. I mean, how many of you go somewhere with your library card that has your name on it? Probably never, unless you are going to the library, which it probably doesn't have your picture on it. Does it? I don't think so. What smart kids, unless they maybe were told in advance to take it with them. Interesting. For me, I would have gotten there and been like, oops, I left it at home. Let's go back. Not have been good. No, not good at all. Okay. You're good to go, he said. He pointed to a big truck-type thing ahead of us. You'll be escorted to the commander's quarters. Just follow the forward vehicle. Have a good day. Holy smokes, said my dad, looking at the truck. That's one sweet Humvee right there. It's the standard armored vehicle that escorts all VIP guests receive when visiting the commanding officer, said Mr. Brantley. And he would know since he used to be the commanding officer. We're pretty important, you know, my mom added. Almost every structure inside the compound was a brick building, but we pulled up to a lovely big white house with a fence and a lawn and lots of beautiful trees. Outside, gardeners were planting flowers and someone was painting one of the black shutters that framed the windows. As we got out of the car, we all uttered some form of whoa. 2 soldiers guarded the front door as we went inside. We were brought into a giant room that had an enormous wooden table in the middle and bookshelves that must have held about 1,000 books. Hey, Arnold, it would take you at least a week to read all these books, cracked Lester. Please make yourself comfortable, said one of the soldiers who had shown us in. The commander will be with you shortly. Can anyone actually get comfortable in this place? My mom wondered out loud. Give me our itty-bitty house any day of the week. We all laughed, or tried to. The truth was, I was a little tense. I think we all were. But I know I was. Government buildings made me nervous, even ones as pretty as this. After another minute or so of trying to stay calm, I heard sharp footsteps outside the door. The soldier who was in the room with us immediately sprang to attention. He was suddenly by far the tensest of all of us. Then the door opened and Commander walked in. He was a little older than I'd remembered. His hair was white, which was the complete opposite of his dark jacket uniform, which had medals all over the front. Just the look of him scared me for a second, but as soon as he saw me, his face broke into a big smile. Arnold, he said, what a true delight it is to see you again. And he came over and shook my hand. He had a strong grip. I don't have a strong grip. For a second, I thought he might pull my arm clear off. Commander Jensen made his way around the room, greeting everyone. Finally, he motioned for us to all sit at the enormous wooden table. He sat on the head, of course, meaning like the head of the table is like the end of the table. So if you see in movies, they have a really long, skinny table, and the king or queen sit on the end, and then the other end is the other king or queen. So basically the head of the table is for the important people in the room or in the family. Okay? So that's what that means there. I forgot where I was at. Oh, I'm so pleased that you could all come to visit, he said. I know you all lead very busy lives, and I appreciate you taking the time to make the drive. He was acting like we were doing him a favor, even though he was the commander of the whole Southwest District. It was pretty funny now that I think about it. Commander Jensen took a sip from the cup in front of him, which was probably tea, since that's what we all had in front of us. Except me, I had a bag of jelly beans on a plate and water. We waited for him to finish his drink. My mom smiled at me. I tried to smile back. So, I have some exciting news, the commander said. We've been working very hard, and more importantly, so have the afterlife humans in our care. They've been making tremendous progress, and last week at our monthly update summit, it was agreed that we would consider the idea of assimilating another subject into mainstream society. Commander Jensen paused. We all looked at one another with a varying degree of surprise on our face, except for Lester, who just looked confused, probably because he didn't know what assimilate meant. Mr. Brantley was the first of us to respond. Well, I'm sure I speak for all of us when I say how excited we are to hear that. I know the program has a lot of ups and downs, which I myself was a part of, so if it turns out that it will indeed prove beneficial, that would be such a welcome that would be such welcome news for all of us. Excellent, Horace, said the commander. I'm so glad you feel that way. That's wonderful news, my mom said. I always knew that there was a merit in this program, and even if it took a while, it now seems all the hard work was worth it. Indeed, Jenny, agreed the commander. Indeed it was. There were a few more questions and answers and some more conversation about the program, but there was only one thing I was dying to know. Well, not dying, but you know what I mean. I was pretty sure everyone was thinking the same thing and had the same question, but it didn't seem like anyone else was going to ask it, so I finally raised my hand. Excuse me, Commander Jensen? Yes, Arnold. I tried to clear my throat. Well, sir, I heard you say that you had made the decision to assimilate another subject, and well, I was wondering if you knew who that subject would be. Commander Jensen smiled, showing his really white teeth. I must say I thought you'd never ask. He stood up and walked over to a door that I hadn't even noticed before because it was built into the bookcases. Almost looked like a trap door you'd find in one of those television mystery shows that my dad liked to watch. The commander made a fist and rapped on the door. 3 times quickly, it began to slide open. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the next afterlife human who is ready to enter the real world. Do you know who it is? Should I stop there so you have to wait until next week? Oh my goodness. Just kidding, I'm not going to make you wait. I'll keep reading. But do you know who it is? And out walked Azalea Clacknozzle. Yay! His friend. My eyes went wide with shock as an electric buzz pulsed through my body. Azalea! She was the only other juvenile in the territory besides me. I'd become good friends with her when I was there the second time. My brain had been programmed to only remember very specific things, but I remembered her. I remembered everything about her. Hi, Azalea, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Do you remember me? Azalea was clearly very nervous and spent a few seconds looking at me and looking at everyone, blinking a lot, trying to figure out where she was and what exactly happening to her. But when she saw me, I could see her body relax, and she smiled just a little bit. Yes, you're Arnold, she said softly. Hello, Arnold. It was interesting to hear her call me Arnold. She'd only ever called me Norbus in the territory. Norbus, as in Norbus Clacknozzle, my original Project Z name, but we weren't in the territory anymore. We were out in the real world. Me and now her, the two of us. I wouldn't be the only one anymore. Welcome, I told her. Welcome to... I wasn't quite sure what to call it. What if it was to be outside in the real world with real humans? It took me a few seconds to come up with the right words. Welcome to freedom. They're bringing another one out on purpose. Arnold had escaped, but they're letting her go on purpose. Ooh, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And yes, I am going to stop there. But oh my goodness. Next is part 2, Evan. So, we'll see. I don't know. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Holy cow. Well, I don't know. I'm very interested to see what happens next. It's getting really, really good. I don't even know what could possibly happen next, but interesting. Okay. Well, that was really good part to it. And Azalea's joining them. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, I hope you join me again next time to see what happens next. I hope you have a very good weekend. Happy Easter, everybody. Happy 4-day weekend. Enjoy your families. Have a great time. And be ready to get back to work next week on Tuesday. See you then.